We are back with a new episode of the Gold Standard here on Fox 19. Now, this one comes after the Bengals, well, let's say it, they saved the season. A Thursday night football win against the Pittsburgh Steelers and another big night for Joe Flacco, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins. Okay, Charlie, what was your biggest takeaway from Thursday night football and the Bengals win against Pittsburgh?
It's just the feeling that Joe Flacco creates. And now they don't talk about him anywhere near the way they talk about Joe Burrow because the talent level, all of the differences that I don't need to elaborate on. But the appreciation and gratitude for having him feels almost saving like with what Flacco's done because Jake Browning just wasn't getting the ball anywhere near where it needed to be. Flacco, he lets Jamar be Jamar and get the ball 27 times. He lets T get plays down the field. He lets Yoshivas, Chase Brown, Orlando Brown just feel better about themselves. And there's just a renewed enthusiasm around the building.
So there was the question of could the chemistry that started to develop in the second half at Green Bay carry over? And everybody points back to 2023 when he had that great chemistry with Amari Cooper. Are you seeing that kind of level of chemistry between Joe Flacco and Jamar Chase?
Not really. I'm seeing the old line is players, not plays. And, Jamar's got a one-on-one matchup. And the details don't even have to be perfect or anywhere near so. But because Flacco's getting the ball out quickly, because he's anticipating what defenders are going to do, and because Jamar and T especially, and also the other skill guys, give him so much of a margin for error, they don't even need the chemistry. The Bengals skill guys are better than that. It's the best skill position group in football, and it's a situation where Zack Taylor gets to call all of the plays he wants again. The players have the ball in their general vicinity, and Flacco just has to kind of connect the dots. Easier said than done. Flacco's making it happen.
What do you think of Joe Flacco's demeanor and how he's handling this? Because he's been here for less than 2 weeks, and he's already become a fan favorite that quickly here in Cincinnati. Look, it's a guy who's been around for 18 seasons. He's seen it all, but even this feels a little bit unique for a guy that's seen it all. What do you think about the way he's handling this situation?
I just talked to Amarius Mims about Joe Flacco, and he said, you hear stories of other veteran quarterbacks around the league. You have to dance around. You're worried about upsetting. Heck, all right, Amarius didn't say this. We saw Aaron Rodgers flip out at multiple teammates on Thursday Night Football. Flacco's just a very normal human being. He might be like the most normal guy in there. Yeah. He's there, he's walking around, he's bopping around, wears what he wears, talks how he talks, is unbelievably confident, and not confident, just sure of who he is, which makes sense. He's 40. And I think that just creates a comfort, ease being around him that helps guys not be intimidated by him, that helps guys feel comfortable being themselves around him. And then Flacco trusts them. Just look at some of these throws that he's making.
So when we talked about the chemistry after the Green Bay game, he replaced the word chemistry with confidence. He thought that was important. That could be the carryover effect, that maybe Jamar T and himself found a little confidence, and that could help them win a game on Thursday night. It certainly did. But going forward now, right, we all see the schedule. It opens up a little bit here with the Jets, with the Bears, home games, and a chance for the Bengals to start stacking wins. Do you think what Joe Flacco is doing, has done, can carry over and give this team confidence that they can stay in the race for the rest of the season?
Well, I'm still worried about the defense, and we haven't even gotten there yet.
We'll get there.
But, I alluded to this earlier, Chase Brown was in a tough spot. And now he can walk into every Sunday or Thursday or Monday again and be like, you know what? I can break off 100 yards today. Now Andre Yoshivas can walk onto the field against the Jets and be like, all right, I'm in a spot where I get to make big plays again. Orlando Brown gets to walk on the field and be like, the quarterback's not going to mess up the cadence and make me look bad with sacks, which happened a couple times. The ease of making mistakes when the margin for error was so limited, that's a scary place to be. That's living with 2 strikes. Now the Bengals get to take a deep breath. They get to set their best players up to show their own strengths. And that just lets everyone just be more comfortable with who they are.
Can you tell me how Joe Flacco helps unlock Chase Brown?
So, the play from the game that got Jake Browning benched that sticks with me more than anything was a run-pass option where Jake just forced the ball to, I believe, T. Higgins. If he handed it off, Chase Brown has an 80-yard run. There were a lot of audibles at the line of scrimmage where Joe Flacco was able to get them into better runs. There was the wrinkle of the year. Let's sing Zack Taylor and Dan Pitcher's praises for this, and you'll roll your eyes at it. But an under center straight drop back, they did it 3 times. The Bengals don't do that. Just like I don't go camping. I don't do that. The Bengals don't do that. They did. They got a touchdown to T out of it. And then that's something that's in the linebacker's heads all game. It's a tendency breaker. So it opens up the run game. All these little things add up into big things for Chase Brown.
I've never gone camping. I've never gone fishing.
Never either.
And I grew up in Kentucky, which is a crazy thing to say. I'm getting some looks now from videographer Austin Brisky. Okay, let's talk now about Zack Taylor before we go to the defense. I put a tweet out there. You and I talked during halftime of the game. I thought Zack Taylor had one of his better games as a play caller. Am I correct?
Oh, it's not just as a play caller. It's as a coach. Like we talk about Zack as a head coach, as a game manager. Zack was very hands-on, just doing quarterback coachy type things in getting Joe Flacco up to speed in the offense and making sure he knew what this motion meant and what that detail was. Zack taught him a lot of it. He is this offense. He wanted to be the guy he wanted to make sure Flacco got his best shot to learn it, and that's Zack. Zack's ability as a coach really stands out to me because head coaches across any sport usually don't do as much hands-on, hey, lift your arm here and look for this read, and that's the quarterback coach. That's the offensive coordinator. Zack has done a lot of hands-on coaching, combine that with some great game planning moments, and it's a win for everybody.
Now the defense. Yeah. Boy, the defense. The missed tackles is what everybody in Cincinnati is talking about. Should that be the number one concern for Bengals fans?
Well, my number one concern is that the Steelers were the first team to really test Geno Stone. And boy, did they test Geno Stone on a very similar concept twice. Kind of vertical routes down the field where he was just out of position, where he needed to be better. You look at the fact that 2 of this defense's 3 best players were supposed to be Logan Wilson, now benched, Cam Taylor-Britt, inactive and facing a long climb back, in my opinion, to get back into some prominent snaps with some of the trust that's been lost. They need splash plays, but the 2 best splash play guys, or 2 of them, Barrett Carter and Demetrius Knight, are just as likely to miss a tackle. And Dax Hill has had his ups and downs as well. Jordan Battle's had his ups and downs. Shout out to DJ Turner, who I was dead wrong about. But aside from him, there's just been no consistency.
Yeah, DJ Turner followed DK Metcalf. Yep. I asked him about it inside the locker room. He said that's the kind of assignment you dream of as a defensive back. Cam Taylor-Britt also spoke the day after Thursday Night Football about him being inactive, said it's all about discipline for him. He said he's going to spend the entire weekend here working on his game, trying to get back in the good graces of the coaches to get back on the field. We'll see how that turns out going forward. Going forward with this defense, is this anything that once Trey Hendrickson gets back, can Al Golden coach up? Is this who they're going to be, or can they get to a level where they can help this team win games and get to the playoffs?
Well, I talked about Zack Taylor's coaching. This is where the defensive guys have, and they've done, I think this defense has been about as good as I thought it would be so far this year as a whole. So it's not like it's underperforming. But now they have to just coach up very specific, detailed things. What is your rush plan on base downs against fast left tackles who are a little smaller? How do you attack the run gap against a mobile quarterback when it's a shotgun formation and 3 receivers out wide, and what angle do you take to try to complete that tackle? It's all these little situations, when there's this motion out of this formation against a team where you're keying on their tight end, and I'm just making these up. These are brand new situations for a lot of these guys, new situations in this scheme for all of them. There's a lot of just coaching that has to happen, good old-fashioned player development for a very young defense.
How would you describe what's happening right now at the linebacker position? Because there was a rotation of 4 guys. thrown in there. Sometimes some guys were coming off. It felt like at one point Demetrius Knight got benched on Thursday night. How would you describe what's happening at that position group?
Well, they want the young guys to take over, but there looked like a moment where Demetrius got pulled because of a run of missed tackles. Mm-hmm. He ended up, I believe, getting an IV, getting checked for cramps. That's his job. Middle linebackers, Barrett Carter's job. Logan Wilson got more snaps, but that was more of a matchup thing just because of how big personnel, especially at tight end, the Steelers have. So the Bengals wanted an extra linebacker. I view this as Barrett Carter and Demetrius Knight's show. The problem is they've also had the most negative plays on the defense over the last 2 weeks. And again, coaching and player development. Can this team be in a position where the defense at some point can start buying enough stops for the defense to really be competitive?
All right, to end out the show, we're going to straight to the Gold Rush here, and the Gold Rush can also be the Gold Nugget here at the end of the Gold Standard. We're throwing it all together here on a busy Friday at Paycor Stadium. My question is big picture, okay? At 3-4 in a wide open AFC, can Joe Flacco and the Bengals do this? Can they get themselves back into playoff contention?
They can now. And again, I'm going to keep honing back in on the player development on the defense. Can these guys be coached up? It's the same question we were asking in January. But you look at how the schedule lightens up. A couple of weeks in Pittsburgh, they could be playing for first place. There is a lane and a path, and again, a confidence and an energy.
Are you surprised by Joe Flacco's success here?
Oh, of course, but he's just doing a great job setting up Jamar and T and all the guys who we already knew were unbelievable.
Jamar Chase, the best receiver in the league?
Oh, yeah. Best top 5 player.
He's got the crown still. Mr. Triple Crown, Jamar Chase, 16 catches. That's a team record what he did on Thursday night. He is Charlie Goldsmith. I'm Joe Daneman. We do this every week, the Gold Standard, right here on Fox 19 Now.